Due to adult content, viewer discretion is advised. All new today.
I know things about you you don't know I know.
What?
No.
Don't even start that with me.
He lies to his wife about everything. Now, she's getting one chance to confront her husband while strapped to a lie detector.
You took $3,000 for a family vacation so you could spend it on pornography?
I didn't know any of this.
Look at this woman.
Did you have sex with someone? Say it. Everybody here knows it. He knows it. I know it. We all know it. Just say it. You owe me that.
And
You better start talking or start walking.
you won't believe what else he confesses to.
You attacked a woman along I-35 and dragged her into the woods.
A husband's shocking confessions.
Who said I did it? I killed her.
I feel like I'm going crazy.
Starting today, only on Dr. Phil.
How did you feel when you were beating her to death? Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go, in 10.
Stand by, camera 6.
If it's happening now, we're going to deal with it now.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Stand by A, and roll A, check it. Go, Dr. Phil.
Today we're going to talk to a husband who recently made a shocking confession to his wife only after he failed a polygraph that she made him take. Now, Wade admits he was keeping something awful from his wife, Michelle, but he says it was to protect her. Take a look.
When people see us from the outside, we seem like a normal, very happy couple.
I love Michelle. I love my family. I love everything I have.
Wade's had a pattern of lying about little things throughout our marriage. I've discovered several terrible secrets about my husband. My husband, Wade, is a compulsive liar. He is completely addicted to porn. Wade will tell you he hasn't lost a job because of porn. I will tell you he has. The reason he was fired was actually for breaking into the supervisor's office to look at porn.
I'm drawn to pornography like a fly to sugar.
I started finding porn magazines, porn tapes hidden in our house, behind dressers, underneath rugs, underneath the seats in the truck, everywhere.
I know where every newsstand is, video store, and what selection of pornography they have. I would say my addiction to porn is much like an alcoholic going into a liquor store.
There were many times that Wade, while he was working, would call me during the day and say, I'll be home at 5, and he wouldn't be home till around 9. I started suspecting Wade was covering something up. He went through $3,000 in the last 6 months. Nothing he said added up. It convinced me that he was cheating on me. I found some work shirts in his truck that smelled like perfume. I told him the only way I would believe him was if he took this polygraph.
I had no problem with taking the lie detector test. I knew that I hadn't slept with anybody.
Wade failed 2 out of the 3 questions. I'm confused. I don't understand it. I feel like our whole marriage, our whole family is a lie.
Since the lie detector test, my marriage is hanging by a thread.
So, hanging by a thread, what does that mean? Is this hanging by a thread? Are you kind of up to here with all of this?
I am really up to here. I'm up to here.
So why did you want to be here today?
I need to know if he's trustable ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I need him to understand that he needs help.
Yeah, what do you understand about that?
I agree that I do need help. I don't want my marriage to end, and I'll do anything to make it work.
Okay, well, let's put that to the test right now. There comes a point in time where you just have to say, you know what, enough lies, I'm going to tell the truth. The penalty here isn't perjury. The penalty here is your life's going to unravel, and that woman is going to leave you. I can see it in her eyes. I am trying to protect you from yourself, because I think the way you can tell whether you're lying is if your lips are moving. And one of the biggest lies you've ever said is, she's the only person I've ever lied to. Now, what I want you to think about here is, are you willing to just absolutely, for one time in your life, be honest.
Yes.
Because I know things about you you don't know I know. It's not true that his only hope is to tell the truth.
That's his only hope.
Because if he gives you partial truth, do you understand what lie by omission means?
Yes, sir, I do. I understand.
Share with her what you understand lie by omission to mean.
Lying by omission is not telling the whole truth.
That's what you do.
You lie by omission a lot, don't you? You just leave it out. It's not that you don't tell the whole truth. You just don't broach the subject. You just stay away from it. You hide it. And if it doesn't come out, then it's not a lie. I didn't say anything that was affirmatively wrong, so that's not a lie. That's false. It is a lie. To omit material information to your partner is a lie. Do we agree on that?
I agree, yes.
So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about just being absolutely, completely, and totally honest here?
I need to be, and I want to be, because I do want this marriage to work.
And what's the difference between you saying it now and you saying that for the last 4 years?
Like I told you, I stepped outside and looked back at myself, and I didn't like what I saw. And I do want to change. And I do want to make you happy. And I do want to love you forever.
And you've told me that for 4 years. Why now?
Because I don't want to lose you.
You said, I have just lied to protect her. This is in her best interest. I mean, he's doing you a favor. You have lied to protect her. Do you really think so little of her that you think she's that dumb? Or are you diluting yourself that this is really a good thing for her?
I'd say I was fooling myself, thinking that it was a good thing for her, trying to avoid the argument.
I think you were trying to cover it up.
You think what?
I think he was trying to cover it up. I don't think it was about me. I don't think it was about protecting me. I think it was about protecting himself.
There's a lot of drama over this last polygraph you took, right?
Yes, sir.
You wanted to redo it because you said it was a lie, and I'll look at the results here in a minute, but I want to hear what you have to say about it. You took a polygraph 3 weeks ago, and they asked you a question: have you ever had sex with a female coworker or customer since the oldest twins were born? And we're saying since the oldest twins were born because you admitted to some stuff before that. It's since that time. You said no, and it indicated deception, that was a lie. If you ever had a sexual conversation on the phone with a female since the oldest twins were born, you said no. That showed deception, so that was a lie. Are you saying that the test is wrong?
Since the original polygraph test, I have talked to Michelle. I've come clean to her. I've explained to her. And that was the reason I wanted to take the second polygraph test, because she knows what she needed to know after failing the first.
Are you saying that you haven't had sex with a coworker or customer since the oldest twins were born?
I'm saying I have not had sex with her.
Okay. And that you've not had a sexual conversation on the phone?
No, sir, I have not.
Okay. So that test was just wrong. Okay. All right. That's your position. That's your story.
Yes, sir.
He told me it was because he was in a position of feeling guilty because he wanted to have sex with a coworker. And it was those overwhelming feelings of guilt that made him fail that test.
Yeah, like saying you went on a business trip with a man. But in fact, that was a woman.
Yes.
Okay, and you lied about that. Is that what you were feeling guilty about?
After I failed the first polygraph test, the examiner came out and he gave me a couple of what he thought were reasonable excuses why I had failed the test. He originally told me that those are the reasons you may have failed the test, and he told Michelle something completely different. We called him later on the speakerphone, and he once again gave me excuses and then told her that, no, that's not it.
That's not true.
Well, all right.
He came out and talked to us together.
Well, you had 11 affairs on your ex-wife, right?
Yes, sir.
11.
That you've admitted to.
At least 11, yes, sir.
Yeah, at least 11. Well, we're going to take a break. Wade admits that he cheated on his wife, Michelle, while she was pregnant, but he claims since their wedding day 4 years ago that he's been faithful. Now, Michelle says she doesn't believe him, and she wants answers. We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Wade went to a conference with a female coworker that he repeatedly told me was a male.
The original reason I told Michelle was to just stop the arguments and stop her worrying about me going to a conference with a female.
I do believe he's cheating on me.
Across this great country, from coast to coast, you've told me about the crossroads we're facing. That's exactly why I wrote We've Got Issues, How You Can Stand Strong for America's Soul and Sanity. This book isn't just a conversation starter. It's a roadmap for standing strong in the face of adversity, for embracing our core values when they're needed most. We're talking about real strategies for real people dealing with real issues, from navigating the complexities of today's polarized world to fortifying our families. And I set forth in the book 10 principles that I think are critical for a healthy society. This is not about politics. I'm not a politician, don't want to be a politician, don't know enough about politics to talk about it. But I talk about every angle of life as we know it, from family and relationships to the burning issues that are shaping our world today. We've got issues, how you can stand strong for America's soul and sanity. And you'll find it anywhere books are sold. It's about time we start addressing what truly matters.
Michelle is always asking me questions. Like a prosecutor, she goes at it from different directions, trying to find out the truth.
I just have this deep feeling there's a lot more that I don't know, and he's still lying.
I would say that I shoot straight with everybody. I just have a problem with being honest with my wife.
Well, today we're talking to Wade, a self-proclaimed liar, and his wife, Michelle, who was so suspicious of her husband's behavior that she made him take one of those online polygraph tests. He failed. Now she's convinced that he definitely is having an affair. Now, he has come home from work with his clothes smelling like perfume. And he says, look, there's a simple explanation for all of these things, so take a look.
In my first marriage, I had over 10 affairs that I can recall.
He admitted that while he was married to his ex-wife, he cheated the night before their wedding.
Michelle is convinced that I cheated then and am cheating now.
I do believe he's cheating on me. Wade admitted that while I was pregnant, he was dating a friend of my doctor's. And he swears nothing happened, but I don't believe him. After our first set of twins were born, Wade confessed to cheating on me. Wade went to a conference with a female coworker that he repeatedly told me was a male.
The original reason I told Michelle was to just stop the arguments and stop her worrying about me going to a conference with a female.
Wade will lie about everything until he's caught red-handed.
Had she come back to my room that night after we'd been drinking and said that she wanted to have sex, it probably would have happened. Since we've been married, I have definitely not had sexual contact with anybody else.
You don't believe that?
Not at all.
You didn't seem really yourself on that tape. I mean, and you said you felt bullied.
I feel a lot of pressure from Wade when I confront him. He's very selfish. It's all about him. I don't have the right to vent. You don't let me be mad. You take that away from me. Because it's about you. It's always about you and how you feel and what you need. You don't let me have what I need.
What do you need? Tell him. Tell him now. You couldn't tell him then. Tell him now.
You have destroyed our family. You have ruined my trust in you, my respect for you. You have hurt our kids. You profess to love me to no end. Then why don't you stop? Just stop.
What's your reaction to what she's saying? Sure.
I agree with everything you said. All the problems we have are me. I want to stop. I do want to make it better. I do love you more than anything in the world.
It's my fault. It's my fault I question you. It's my fault I'm paranoid. You yell at me, you're angry with me over things that you've done. Why is that fair?
It's not fair and it's not right.
What have you done to fix the problem?
I've told Michelle more about myself than anybody else has ever known. I've tried to be honest with Michelle about everything.
Are you still, though? Are you being honest?
Yes, I am.
You say you love her more than anything. You love her more than anything except pornography?
I always told myself I had a strong sexual drive, a hyperactive sexual drive. After looking at it, it's beyond that.
You took $3,000 out of your joint savings account that you guys were saving for a family vacation so you could spend it on pornography?
I had to tell the kids we weren't going on vacation. I had to lie about why. You didn't see the hurt in their face from that?
I wasn't there when you told the kids, and I'm not sure that was the reason we didn't go on vacation.
That is exactly the reason why.
Did you take the money out that was being saved for the vacation and spend it on pornography?
I did take money. I did spend a vast amount of money. Did I know that it was money for the vacation? No, I did not.
Well, yeah, we just have thousands of dollars lying around for you just to take out and spend.
I mean, come
at a
on.
porn
You
store.
don't have that much discretionary income that you can't wonder if that's going to affect the quality of life for the family, right? You know that that's exploitative. You know that that's selfish. You know that that's putting you ahead of their interests. True?
This is correct.
You got fired from a job at the sheriff's department for breaking into an office to get to a computer to look at pornography. True?
I did not
You
break
got
into the
fired
office.
from another job from sitting in the truck all day looking at pornography instead of getting out of the truck and doing your job.
Yes.
Okay, so you say, I love you more than anything, except I'm not willing to protect our income stream so I can feed my family. I'm not willing to stay out of our account and take the money because I want to do it so I can get some sexual gratification.
I didn't know any of this except for 2 weeks ago since you failed that polygraph. You swore when you took that polygraph you were being honest, nothing was going to come out, there was nothing there.
Well, coming up, Wade said that lie detector test, this online thing, was not good. So we said we were going to give him a real solid polygraph with a top polygraph operator. We're going to find out whether he passed or failed when we come back.
It's a more thorough exam this time. My gut feeling says that they're going to ask him something he doesn't want to answer and is going to get mad and walk out.
We've been talking to Wade, who admits that he's a chronic liar, but he says now that he is telling the truth. Now, his wife, Michelle, who doesn't trust anything he says we had a perfect marriage till 3 weeks ago. But the more I talk, the more I can't believe you even say that you had a perfect situation 3 weeks ago and no warning signs. I mean, come on. So 3 weeks ago, Wade failed a lie detector test showing that he had a sexual encounter with a coworker or a customer and had a sexual conversation with a female. He said he wanted to take another one because he didn't think the one that he had was accurate, that somehow or another it came out wrong. So we sent him to take another lie detector test. Let's take a look at a piece of tape that'll tell us about this.
I had asked the Dr. Phil show to set up a second lie detector test because after failing the first one, I came clean with everything I could think of with Michelle, and I want to prove that I've told her everything.
I'm very scared that he's gonna fail.
I'm excited about taking the test, and I'm very confident about taking the test.
You were excited and confident about taking the last test.
True.
Jack Tremarco.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Wade?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Let's go.
I really hope Wade is in there being very honest right now.
So if you'll tell me when you're ready to go, we'll get started.
I'm ready.
Have you had sexual relations with any person other than Michelle since October 15, 2003?
No.
I think he still has something in him that can't be honest with himself or other people.
Have you purchased any form of pornography since your last polygraph test?
No.
If Wade fails the test, I see no other choice than for me to file for divorce.
The charts will be made available along with the polygraph report and the results tomorrow to Dr. Phil.
I feel very confident that I passed this test.
Okay, now I have Wade's results here. Now, Michelle, this is Jack Tremarco. Jack is, they do this for the FBI. He's been involved with the FBI for how long?
21 years as a special agent.
21 years as a special agent with the FBI. Now does this, has worked with us before. You understand what he said, so we know is that once this was all done and the protocol was done, then he has somebody come in that's totally independent to look at it and verify his interpretation of the profile. You were asked 4 questions. One was, have you purchased any form of pornography since the last polygraph test? You said no. The test indicated that that was a truthful response. There was no deception there, that he has not purchased any pornography since the last test. And a similar question, since the last polygraph test, have you bought porn? And the distinction here was 900 numbers, that sort of thing. You said no, you have not, and the indication was that that there was no deception there, that is true. The third question, other than what you told me, that you had had sex with your ex after the oldest sons were born, so he's admitted that, so that was ruled out. Have you had sexual relations with any person other than Michelle since October 15th, 2003? You said no. The test says that is a deceptive response. That is not true. That is a lie. The fourth question, other than what you told me since October 15, 2003, have you touched anyone for sexual purposes other than Michelle? The answer was no, and the result was that was deceptive.
Okay, let's go. Say it. Say it. Everybody here knows it. He knows it. I know it. We all know it. Just say it. Give me that. You owe me that.
I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know if it's something in my head.
Are you trying to drive me crazy?
No, Michelle, I'm not. I have not slept with anyone else.
That's a lie. Just go. Just keep running your mouth.
Are you trying to split hairs here? Are you saying I haven't slept with anybody else?
I haven't had sexual contact with anybody else. Have I thought about sexual contact with other people? Yes. Have I fantasized about sexual contact? Yes. Have I used videos, porn, you name it? Yes, I've done all those things. But I have not had physical contact with anybody else in the sexual matter.
You had 11 affairs with your last wife, with your ex-wife, but how did you cure yourself?
I did not cure myself.
Well, you said that you had had 11 affairs before, and you said that until 3 weeks ago, you used to masturbate 2 to 3 times a day with pornographic magazines and movies, and that you had no idea. That was until 3 weeks ago. And then 3 weeks ago, you just flipped the switch, and now you're cured?
I've never professed that I was cured. I know I have a problem.
Well, how did you stop 3 weeks ago?
Fear of losing my marriage, knowing I had to do something drastic.
So you are cured. You couldn't stop yourself from doing this 2-3 times a day to all this pornographic material, and then all of a sudden you were able to stop. Now, Michelle said that if Wade failed any part of this test, that she was done, she was out, she would leave him. Is that right? Or does she hold out some hope? I'm going to ask her that when we come back.
On Oops, the podcast, join me, comedian Giulio Gallerati, as I examine everyday life, the mistakes, the bad decisions, the goals, the jokes, the social engagements, and all things in between. I'm joined every week by producer and personal confidant Ryan Lynch, various other comedians, for witty, candid, and intoxicating conversation. Our listeners love Oops for its sophisticated banter, aka your mom could listen, and many feel like they're in the room with us chopping it up with old pals. You can find every episode of this show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube.
So angry over the line. The urges and the addictions, okay, but tell the truth. Don't lie.
If I don't get this problem fixed, I'll lose my wife and family forever.
I will never trust Wade the way things are now.
Well, yesterday, Michelle's husband, Wade, took a lie detector test to prove he was not having sexual relations with another woman or still buying pornography. Well, he's not buying pornography, but he did not score as truthful on the items that had to do with sexual contact with others. Now, Michelle has said, if he fails that, any part of that, I am absolutely done. And I'm going to ask you in just a minute where you are on this. But I'm going to ask you, Wade, you remember how we started this conversation? We started this conversation by me saying, this is the time, if you are ever going to have a chance, you have got to tell the truth. I know it is your second nature to lie. It's just there. I mean, it's become such a habit with you, right? I mean, your whole marriage is a lie. Your whole life is a lie. The whole thing is a misdirection. Do you agree? You have a whole hidden part of yourself, right?
I agree.
Okay, so I'm asking you to shake that off and tell the absolute truth. Look at this woman. Look at her. She, at this point, she said, are you trying to drive me crazy? The things that we're talking about, here's something you and I both know. The things that we're talking about here, that ain't the whole story, is it?
No, sir, it's not.
What we've talked about, what we know, what I've disclosed here, is not the whole story. When I said for every rat you see, there's 50 you don't. Now, there's 2 people in this big room that know about those other 49. That's you and me. Are you ever going to be honest with this woman?
Yes.
Because I got a feeling if she ever thought you had it all on the table where you could deal with it, that she might be willing to roll her sleeves up and try and save this family, try to save the father of the children. You, my friend, stand at the precipice. What do you want to say to your partner in life?
What I have to say to you, I'm not going to say on national TV.
I think she wants the help. I think she wants me here.
I'm done. I am done. I am strong, and you are not going to do this to me or my kids.
Wade, you better start talking or start walking.
I've talked to you, I've told you about the problems that I have. And you know the problems that I have. And I don't believe for a minute anybody else knows about all the problems that I have.
Did you sleep with someone? Did you have sex with someone? Just answer that, yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. He needs help. Not just
Tell her the
for
rest
me.
of the story.
I don't want to hear it.
You and I know the truth.
I don't want to hear it.
We'll be right back.
If you would like to purchase a tape or transcript of your favorite Dr. Phil show, log on to drphil.com or call 866-4-DR-PHIL. That's 866-437-7445. 866-437-7445.
I'm here talking to Michelle and Wade. When you lie, when you deceive, when you justify and rationalize, a lot of people's lives can be hurt and destroyed. I'm talking about this because there's a family that hangs in the balance here. It's not just the two people on this stage. There are children involved. There's a future involved for this family. There is a future. It can be one that's fractured. It can be one that is unified. It can be one that is a continued charade, or it can be something that is at least based in honesty. Michelle, tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now. You came here for answers. I'm trying to get you answers.
I got them. I got what I needed. Our marriage is over.
Why have you lied to her about this against all knowledge on your part and all evidence to the contrary? I mean, what is your hope? What is your hope and your goal, Wade?
I want to keep my family.
I told you how you could have done that. I told you how to do that. If you were honest with me before, I would have accepted you have having an affair. We could have worked through it, but you had to be honest. I told you that. You chose this, not me. This isn't my choice. This is your choice. And you want to save it. How do you ever trust, ever, again?
Wade, look at Michelle. You won't even look at her. Why will you not even look at her?
Because he's mad.
Because I'm ashamed.
Because you're mad.
What are you ashamed of?
Everything I've done to this marriage, everything I've done to you, what's going to happen with the kids.
Why didn't you fix it? Now the brainwashing begins.
Well, I have some things to say to both of these people when we come back, and I am speaking on behalf of the children. So you're going to want to stay tuned for this. We'll be right back. We're here talking with Michelle and Wade. There are problems in this marriage that I think go way beyond what we're talking about here on the stage. I got a question for you because I'm trying to find the bottom for you. Have you been seeing hookers?
No, sir.
Does she have anything to be concerned about in terms of disease? Don't respond quickly. You need to think about what you're just saying. Do not allow your wife to be at risk. If she needs to get tested, if she needs to take precautionary measures, say so now. At least protect the life and health of the mother of your children. Does she need to get herself tested to be sure she doesn't have some form of dormant STD?
No.
So what'd you do? Run whoever you slept with through it to the doctor's office beforehand? How do you know that? Are you kidding?
I was answering the question about prostitutes, and no, I have not had a prostitute.
No, you weren't answering the question about that. You answered the question about that. The next question was, does she have to take precautionary measures to be 100% certain that she has not been exposed to a sexually transmitted disease that could threaten her health and or life?
I'm as certain as anybody else sitting in this room that she does not.
That's sick.
What were you thinking through when I asked you that? You were kind of looking up and away. What were you thinking through? Help me with the thought process here. This is an important question, obviously. We're talking about the mother of your children here and her health.
I'm trying to keep my anger in check. I'm trying to... You do not need to get yourself checked.
You're going to get checked, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, let me say something to you. Let me say something to you, and there's not anything I'm getting ready to say that justifies or excuses any of Wade's behavior whatsoever here. But you need to wake up and smell the coffee here. I mean, to say that this marriage was fine until 3 weeks ago when everything came crashing down, you have had warning signs just spraying out all over the place for a long, long time. And you say the brainwashing has started now. Because you're saying what he's going to do is he's going to get mad, he's going to get hurt, he's going to do all of these things to start working on you, right? You got a choice to make here. It is what it is. You wanted the truth, you got the truth. You said you didn't want the rest of the truth, so you can't blame him for that because there's more truth, and you said, I don't want to hear it. So you gave him a pass on that. So that's your decision. And so is what you do from here. Now, Wade, let me tell you something. I truly believe this is beyond your control at this point. And you do need help. And I am willing to make those resources available to you. I'm willing to get you some serious, specialized help that will work towards freeing you from this compulsion. This isn't who you want to be or what you want to do. Is it?
No, sir.
And isn't the truth that living in this constant world of deception and darkness and pornography, is that not absolutely a shame hell for you?
Yes, sir. I don't like who I am. I don't like who I become. I don't like what I've done to people that I love and care about. I just feel like I have no control over it.
If, whether this marriage stays together or whether it doesn't, if I get you help with this, will you take it?
Yes.
But it's hard work and you've got to be willing to do it.
I will do it.
My advice to you
is to get a clue.
is...
This is my fault?
What?
This is my fault because I didn't see warning signs? I mean, who out here has found a porn magazine? It's no big deal. I mean, you think it's always been acceptable in our relationship because he was hiding them? I thought he was embarrassed. You know, those were the warning signs.
Look at me. Not one choice he has made is your fault or your responsibility. Every choice you have made and will make is your responsibility. You are accountable for what you do. You're not responsible for him. You haven't been an inferior wife. You haven't failed to see warning signs and therefore allowed him to continue to plummet into the darkness. But you have to stand up and own your future, own your family leadership. You've got to make the decisions for you. You're not responsible for him. Have you not had a clue? Have you not seen screaming warning signs? Correct. You have not seen screaming warning signs, but you see them now, right? You see them now, and the question is, what are you going to do about it? You got to make a decision. Am I willing to try and work through this with him? Or am I going to say, I'm done, I'm walking, and let him do what he's going to do on his own? That's the decision that you're going to have to make. And I'm willing to help you by providing you resources in your community for whatever decision you make, whichever way you go. We will continue to work through this with you if that's what you want.
Thank you. I do want help for the kids. Not for
the
our
only
marriage.
responsibility you have is for the things you control, and he's not one of those. We'll be right back. If you think that your spouse has been lying to you, or if you're ready to come clean about something, go to drphil.com and tell us your story. Now, you know, you come here, I'm going to ask the hard questions. We're going to get it on the table because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. You just can't. If you don't put it on the table, if you think it's change-worthy, you got to be honest about it, and we're going to talk about it. If you want involvement with that, you want help with that, go to drphil.com and tell us your story. Thank all of y'all for being here today. Jack Tremarco, thank you. There will be a link for Jack and his polygraph services on our website. So if you're looking for the truth, this guy is your man. Thanks for being here.